A very good day to all our people across the African continent. Let us all be aware COVID-19 knows no geographic boundaries, race, or position in a society. Let us all rise and fight this pandemic which has affected every corner of our globe. As African Tourism Board, we note that Africa was a little fortunate in that COVID-19 arrived onto the continent a little later than in other countries. This was supposed to have given us a bit of time to prepare for it and to learn on the experiences of those countries affected first. Regrettable, Africa was not prepared when the virus came on our shores. It took quite some time before our governments reacted to close all entry points. The expectation was a swift, common, united African Union response. Very worrisome indeed is the missed rumor that COVID-19 does not affect blacks. The African Tourism Board wishes to dispel this myth, advising all people of Africa that COVID-19 respects no skin color. Whether you are black, white, red, or yellow, all are affected. Another major concern is the fake news that continues to circulate on social media, giving our people false hope and a false sense of security. The African Tourism Board, therefore, in support of the efforts by our governments, calls upon all people of the continent to heed the call by the authorities to wash our hands frequently and to maintain recommended social distance and to stay at home. But what can Africa learn from the experiences of other countries in dealing with COVID-19? Without showing the actual statistics, the general experience is that those countries that have not taken drastic measures to contain the virus have paid heavily, with many people being infected, flooding the hospitals with resultant to many deaths. Examples are one, we're talking of 300 plus. Italy, we're talking of 12,400 plus. Spain, we're talking of 8,200 plus. And recently, the United States of America, with over 3,700 plus death, and the numbers, they are still rising. Those countries that took drastic measures, including testing and all known cases and tracing people who had been in contact with affected persons, isolating infected person, managed to contain the virus. Good examples are Singapore, which contained infections to just over 103 deaths. China, which contained the virus from spreading across the hugely populated countryside to less than 4,000 deaths. South Korea contained the outbreak to 162 deaths. Germany and France were a little slow, but once decisions had been taken, their measures were drastic, and the rise in infections compared to, for instance, United States, Italy, and Spain is much, much lower. In short, the evidence we have to date clearly shows that where the country's leadership is low, the damage caused by COVID-19 is traumatic. Where leadership takes swift and drastic measures to deal with the pandemic, the impact is less severe and also less painful. African Tourism Board is calling upon the African Union and all African leaders and governments to take the interests and safety of its citizens first, to learn from the best practice cases as indicated, by taking swift and effective measures to contain the spread of the virus. Ladies and gentlemen, given the special circumstances of many of the African states where health systems are very weak and least prepared to handle the pandemic, poverty and living conditions in the high densities residential areas where some cases on average 7 persons live in a single room make it very difficult for the people to follow some of the COVID-19 containment measures. In a significant number of countries in Africa, there is a serious shortage of staple food, and people are more worried about how and where to get their next meal than the COVID-19 virus. These are the realities that we must deal with as a continent, and our best option is containment, containment, and containment, as we know that prevention is better than cure. There has never been a time since the turn of the century when good, strong leadership was called for than now. Global leadership, good, strong, and united leadership on the African continent, and good, strong leadership at the national level. With a voice, a loud voice, African Tourism Board is calling upon all governments, please, please, please protect the people. Contain the virus. Seek help for protective equipment for the health of workers, respiratory equipment, ventilators for patients, testing equipment, and for food in all our countries experiencing shortages. African Tourism Board is calling upon the world from the west and the east, the WB, IMF, all international cooperating partners to come to the aid of Africa. African Tourism Board is much aware that most countries are inward looking and busy fighting this pandemic at national level. African Tourism Board is equally aware that if Africa is not helped at this point of need, its challenges will come back to haunt the world. Let us come and let us help ourselves. Africa needs the rescue package during and post the COVID-19. African Tourism Board is ready to play its role in fighting this pandemic and will partner and support both the public and private sectors. This is not somebody's war. It is our war. All of us, big and small, young and old, rich or poor, with unity and determination, we will win. We are therefore appealing to each and every citizen of this global community. Let us do our part. Play your part, I will play my part, so that we are able to contain and we are able to save our beloved continent. Thank you, and thank you very much.